Recognizing Dean David Weil, distinguished Heller faculty, the class of 2020, and my MPP cohort, I begin this speech grateful and thankful to everyone who has blessed my life through word and deed. I'm grateful for faith, which has brought me safe thus far. I'm grateful to my mom for her support. I'm grateful to family, chosen family, and mentors, and especially to Ronisha for making this journey just a little bit easier. And finally, I'm grateful to a great cloud of witnesses who have kept me buoyant throughout this journey. A lanky, bookish student beset with fevers, muscle aches, and chills lies in a darkened hospital room. The bells and alarms ever present throughout the ICU nag at his desire to lay in total silence. The words of his forever friend reverberate throughout his mind. You will make it. You can't give up. You have to fight. Occasionally, the cough that jolts from his slight frame jolts him from his repose. It was no longer an option for him to ignore these symptoms. After all, he was all too aware about the public health crisis our country faces. This student tested positive shortly before his diagnosis, positive for HIV. That student was me. I'm so grateful that in that moment, my friend Ben affirmed me and inspired me to act for myself and for my community. HIV remains a public health crisis in this country, particularly for Black, same-gender loving, and trans folks. The confluence of racism, heterosexism, transphobia, and ableism within our healthcare system fuels this epidemic. My decision to pursue a Master of Public Policy degree was to ensure that my diagnosis would not remain the norm for other Black and queer young people. And sure, I knew I had to fight for my life and for my community. Much of the progress we have achieved in society has been achieved from those of us who have literally fought back from death to say enough is enough. Self-determination is a potent force for change. However, the burden of making change cannot rest on marginalized folks alone. Heller's commitment to knowledge-advancing social justice has equipped us with the skill sets and the toolkit to tackle inequality and injustice. My impressive cohort will go on to address the most consequential issues of this century. However, a commitment to social justice alone is not enough. Our commitment to social justice cannot merely be theoretical, it must be kinetic. Many of those who adhere to social justice as a guiding principle have become comfortable with summoning tears and apologies when they recognize that their words and actions have caused harm. Tears will not dismantle structural racism in our society. What we need to address the HIV epidemic and every other problem that brought us to Heller is a fundamental pursuit of justice. Justice demands an account from each of us, and justice requires that we center those who are most invisible in our society. As graduates of Heller and as citizens of this world, we have a responsibility to ourselves, those who come after us, and those who lived long before us to actively pursue justice and to acknowledge that business as usual in this world and in our country cannot continue, especially at this moment. I close this morning with a stanza from Adrian Stanford, a Black and queer poet who is now an ancestor. In a poem which is the clarion call for empowerment, Stanford says, "Let there be planted the seeds for an intellectual, moral, and social revolution out of which a new culture can be formed, out of which a new civilization can be fashioned, out of which a new world can be hewn." May Stanford's words be our charge today and in the future. Today we can begin to create anew, to not simply dismantle injustice, but to create within ourselves and within our communities gardens of justice that will bear fruit for every individual. Thank you very much.